Stand up and get ready, take your shirt off and shout Rev Deuces. Stream starts now. And now that I have your attention, it's time for us to get serious. Say hello and chat to your friends. Fires up the stream, hear the good vibes come. Let's distract you from that terrible day. Your wife doesn't suck, your husband is a nag, but here you matter, and there's very little lag. Rev Deuces stream, yeah, we laugh as one, telling dad jokes and flirting with every daughter and son. We're gonna burn our retirement homes on down and shake our asses like Nurse Rose Brown. Patch notes hit, he's already read it. Scopely's wild, he's not gonna edit. Game's a mess, he still stands tall with spreadsheet sass and a reverent call. Do you miss having someone to talk to when you're bored? To talk to when you ain't got nothing to do? Do you miss having someone to talk to when it's late at night? Well, have I got a stream for you? Rev Deuces stream, yeah, we laugh as one, telling dad jokes and flirting with every daughter and son. We're gonna burn our retirement homes on down and shake our asses like Nurse Rose Brown. Ain't nothing wrong with a little pawn far. Chat can't be trusted, it's a juvenile seminar. But that's okay because we all need a little fun. Life's too short and you're too cute, my ginger buzz. Rev Deuces stream, yeah, we laugh as one.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? All right, we got the volumes down so y'all can hear it. Welcome in, hope you're doing well. It is Wednesday, another week. We are now in October. Welcome to Rev's birth month. If y'all aren't aware, a little bit of announcement before we get too crazy. And by the way, good to see you, my German friend. Hallo, wie geht's? Good to see you. October 6th, I know not everybody uses Twitch, but October 6th, we'll be doing a birthday stream. We'll be opening presents from the community that y'all have sent. Very big thank you for that. We'll be raising money to pay off the medical bills. And more importantly, we'll be having some fun. My wife will be there. We'll be taking some shots. We'll be having some fun, adult fun. That's not the right wording. We'll be reading quantum physics books. That type of adult fun, to be clear, YouTube, not the other type. Just adults with beverages is what I meant. And we're gonna have a good time. Also, make sure all the YouTube crowd is aware. I know not everybody is on Twitch, but if you want to hang out, that's where it's going to be. And Stu, thank you. One of my original Klingon hats. I've been wearing these for a while. I still actually have like my first hat, that old Star Wars hat I used to always wear. But welcome in. Today we're going to talk about, at least I'm going to try to gather feedback on Crucible of War to give more points to the overlords over there in Scopely. Yep, y'all know them, you love them, and can't live with them, can't live without them. And then also, we'll try to do some player account reviews as well, and just to, try to help everybody where they're at in the game. Meeting you where you're at. That's what we're going to be trying to do today, as well as talking about other small topics. For example, the comp chest that just came out for the Alliance Tournament issue. Did you feel that was good? Did you get your Alliance Tournament currency spent? I'll be doing that on stream as well. So all of those things and more. Today's exciting episode of streaming on YouTube. Welcome and good evening, Viper. Good to see you. Give you Ken Slayer, Baconfish, Skippy, Galvon, Dustin. Welcome in. Your Ops 27 have a Horizon. Congrats. Horizon, good boat. This in the background is actually my level 35 account, and I still use my Horizon, though I do have a Cavort. But I still use the Horizon, good boat. I mainly use it It's wild how the game changes and adapts. I mainly use it to mine transition, but yeah. Yeah, I mainly use it to mine transition. I don't know how everybody else is using theirs, but in today's game, that's where I spend a lot of my time, is mining transition, because it's so valuable to everything else. And yes, I am a little bit quiet. My bad. I had my microphone turned down, so that should be a little bit better. Apologies, Braindig. I did have it turned down. I have a podcast on a football channel that I have to turn it down a little bit and then have to turn it up over in here channel. It's be weird sometimes, but thank you for calling it out. Should be better now. If it's not, let me know. Did fix it. All right. Why do you think that Scopely keeps getting established events wrong all the time? I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to need to be specific. You're going to need to be specific. All right. I like that they did not increase the timers in the AT store. Allows me to double dip on everything. Agreed, Maritz. I thought that was good. Now, I think that is I'm probably going to sound mean when I say this, or negative. To me, that's the bare minimum. Like, yeah, duh. But at the same time, we've seen them make that alteration before. So I'm grateful that they did not make the alteration. So I'm grateful they did not make that alteration. But yes, just made my screen a little bit too small. There we go. And I come back in here. Let's jump into our Alliance tournament screen. And we can all take a look together. And the store is open. You see, I've got my Vindicator for G4 already ready, which is pretty dope. Emblems of Honor have been things that I've been considering more of, if I'm being just completely honest with y'all. As far as this account goes, I can start working on my Gorn Eviscerator. I've already got the Transwarp Drive. I do not have the Voyager skin yet, so that's another on my list. Don't have the Fisha skin. And then these are very valuable, these artifacts. I don't have the Assimilated Amalgam yet. I do have Voyager already. So on this account, I certainly have options. Getting the Columbia skin for getting into G4 is a great thing to do as a G3 player, prepping for the future. There's definitely a lot of good in there. And while we're talking about it, I'm going to jump in here and see what I have unlocked ship skin wise and what I'm working towards. So I'm 40 out of 120 on the Columbia skin. So I need more Columbia skin. And I've not even done my Voyager skin at all. Not that you really need the Voyager skin, to be completely honest. Like, you don't really need it. But more is more. So, yeah. Bruno says, Comp Chess was weak for the track record of this problem. It got worse every tournament. This time was the peak. And no, I got a lot of currency left, but I have nothing to get. Fair enough. I mean, there are players who are running into they've gotten everything. But it's still, very small minority. But there are more and more players running into that. Good to see you, Bruno, by the way. Welcome in. Now, Slack says they do not miss Crucible of War. And here's what I have found so far in the feedback. We're probably going to jump back and forth a bit today. It's mostly G3 and G4 players who are very loud that Crucible of War needs to return. Personally, I want Crucible of War to return. As a player who has almost every main account as free-to-play, Crucible of War is one of my primary sourcings for rare Armada directives, not to mention the other things. But Crucible of War is also very valuable for getting your Alliance currency so that you can buy shields, especially if you're a pure free-to-play. It can be very difficult to source some of these materials without the Crucible of War, and that's been a big point of feedback that I've got. Now, if you're out there and you disagree with that or don't have that as an issue, maybe you're not seeing that as a problem, please chime in and let me know. I do really want to hear from that, or hear from you, if you miss Cal at all. And if you don't miss Cal, feel free to be like, hey, I don't miss Cal, doesn't really affect me any, no biggie, right? There's no wrong answer. Frederick says they miss Cal on Mount Grill. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. A little Montreal steak seasoning and we're good. Okay, cool. I don't know what kind of steak that's supposed to be, but sure. You got me. You got me. Who's making chili tonight? Definitely not me. Definitely not me. Let's keep on topic, everybody. I know everybody wants to be cheeky and fun. You're all old men, but let's stay on topic, please. Let's not turn this into a Twitch stream. Davis says they miss Crucible of War. Noted. Who else does? And if you don't, feel free to chime in. Feel free to chime in. RJK says that is a huge problem for me from being a free-to-play player missing Crucible of War. So again, you're going to see a theme here with a lot of free-to-play and low levels feel like they're being punished, where you had events this past month, basically ignore everybody below level 45, and now you have key events that help players progress and get things also being moved that is causing some issues, causing people to be frustrated, right? Seeing buffering? Well, I do have some drop frames right now. I don't know why. Let me check my Comcast real quick. I mean, I got Comcast. There's nothing I can do about Comcast for now, but let's just check my speed test. Let's see. Well, that looks fine. Let's check my uploads. Nothing should be causing a problem, but I am seeing some drop frames. Have not seen that in a while. That's not been a problem in some time. Definitely miss Cal for Alliance credits for shields. Yeah, see, I'm all right. Just repeating what I'm seeing. Stream's becoming unwatchable. Yeah, I'm not sure what's causing an issue. All my ping and stuff is fine. No idea why that is problematic. Let's see. One sec. We haven't had to do this on YouTube in a while. I wonder why it's causing a problem. Give me just a second, chat. 1 second. All right, let's see if that makes it better. Good old turn it off and turn it back on again. When in doubt, turn it off and turn it back on. Is that better? Sometimes you just need the good old off and on again. Y'all let me know if that's better, and apologies for it being problematic. All right, let's see if that stays working semi-decent. All right, so back on topic. Get back into Crucible of War. I just turned it off and turned it back on again. It's amazing how the simplest answer can honestly often be the answer. So, all right. So if y'all in chat could tell them to do an old refresh, that'd be greatly appreciated so that we can get back on topic. YouTube just showed you an STFC commercial. Remember, your ads on places like YouTube are determined by you, right? So it's based on your cookies and your browsing history. So that would be why you see it. So if you ever wonder, like, why am I seeing ads for a game I already play? That's because it's based on your cookies. FYI, if you didn't know. Now, Graduate McKay says they're Op 60 and they're missing Crucible of War, if nothing else, for building ships for scrapping. Okay, noted on that one. I actually have not heard that argument before. I hear it, though. I've not heard that one before. But hey, again, I want to see how many people are missing Cal. I think that is going to be a pretty important topic. And I plan on talking with the Overlords about it today. So actually, we can start a poll here. Do you miss Crucible of War? All right, we're going to start a poll here in the chat. And y'all can now go vote in the poll. It should be in your chat window here on YouTube. And you can say, hey, am I missing Crucible of War? Am I not missing Crucible of War? Y'all should see a poll here in the chat window for YouTube. And you let me know what is your opinion. And again, don't feel like you're obligated to say yes or no. Whatever you truly feel. Do you feel like the game is better with Cal as a free-to-play or as a spender, or however your perspective is? Vote in. So far, about 100 of y'all have chimed in. 63% saying they miss Crucible of War. Right? MJ says they're a Cal enjoyer. That's good to know, MJ. MJ, how come every time you stream, I never see you making Cal? Starting to not believe you. Are you telling me the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you, Cal. But for real, though, get y'all's votes in. Would love to see. And if y'all would be so kind, make sure you invite your alliance in, because these are the type of things that, you know, I try to make sure that players are included, players are able to get their voice out there. And it's why I harp on things like this so much, because when we can have 200, 300 people from the game in, you know, a small period say a thought, an opinion, that means a lot. So the more of y'all that are here to voice your opinion, the more thorough, the more well-rounded, etc., my feedback can be that I take directly to the Overlords. So big appreciation for all those who contribute by just being here. So make sure you invite your alliance so that they can be here as well. Be a very, very big help if you ping me in your global chat, in your alliance chat, just to make sure that everybody can be here and hear what is going on, and hopefully be able to provide their thoughts and opinions as well. Now, Juck says, of course you need Cal, alliance credits, rare mod directives. And see, I agree. We have had a couple of people who've already said no, though. Like, in fact, I would actually say I'm surprised that 31% are saying, no, we don't need Crucible of War. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying that that's more people than I thought who are either indifferent or don't see Crucible of War as valuable. So that does kind of, again, speak to why getting y'all's thoughts is important, right? Getting everybody to participate in this type of things is important, because if I just listen to 2 or 3 voices, see how easy it is to, you know, get pulled in a direction that maybe is not representative of everybody out there. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So, all right, for interceptors, explorers, battleships. All right, I got to consider how I want to use more of my currency because I can't really see how much currency I have right now. But yeah, yeah. Also, ship parts prime. I think I'm good at that. I need to check my Valor emblems. This is a good opportunity for us to bring up the prime spreadsheet again. Let me go grab the primes spreadsheet. Get rid of faction hunt. I guess for me, because I've heard that before. When I hear get rid of faction hunt, my first response is, okay, but what are we replacing it with? What are we replacing it with? And if you want to cancel, that's fine. Because I get it and everyone wants to grind it. For me, because I'm likely not to do the grind, I don't care if it's there or not. I just ignore it. Now, real quick, all the things that you can get, Lions Tournament Store, Prime Orbit Medallions, etc. And we've got this spreadsheet that shares out all the things. So, shares out all the things. Pseudo says, if not for the rare directives, it's near zero value for me as a level 70, but I always participate in things that help my alliance. There you go. Here, I'm going to grab this link real quick so that y'all can come and have this sheet if you don't already. It is in our Discord, and shout out to Pseudo, by the way, who's one of our volunteers, one of those nerds who really, really enjoys Star Trek Fleet Command, maybe too much, maybe more than they should, to be honest, but they do enjoy it. So if you're not in our Discord, the link is in the description of this video. It's also in your chat window as well. If you're coming in, as we're rolling through, there is a poll up where we're getting y'all's opinion on whether Crucible of War needs to return. Do y'all miss it? Do you love it? Etc. Make sure everybody grabs it. You should see it in your chat window. Frederick says, I think Cal's in one of those events that lower level players need, like Faction Hunt. We might be alienating new players from joining if we get rid of great events. I agree. Now, I'm not necessarily worried about those players not joining, but I am worried about them not staying, not being able to progress. It feels like that Scope, and we've said this before, that Scope is doing two things. They're saying we want players to level up quicker. We want them to be able to move up so they can get the new content of the game. But what they're doing is making it harder for those players to do that by not speeding up ship acquisition, officer acquisition, resource material acquisition, specialty currency acquisition. It's just like they're slowing it down completely, right? And if it's valuable, and if we're finding it's valuable for, let's just say, the average G3 player, like the account that I just had up, okay, fine. Well, then make it to where CAL's for those groups and it's not available for others. Now, Crucible of War is a little bit different because it is an alliance-based thing. It's an ALB-based thing. But Faction Hunt could be something that we just relegate to below 45. I mean, again, if things are valuable, then we need to keep those valuable things and find out who they're valuable to. So far, 69%, hey, say that they think that Crucible of War is missed and valuable right now. Graduate Makeda says Scopeless should explain why they stopped Cal and what they'll replace it with. Man, you should be a content creator with that logic. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah. Nothing's wrong with making events level lock, but if it helps lower level players grow, then keep it. Yeah. Look, I am, and keep in mind that there's like this balance that players have to find for themselves. Obviously, I'm very loud when I say ignore the things that you don't want to do. If you don't find something valuable, don't do it, etc., etc., etc. I understand that not everybody is able to play that way. Some people struggle with that. I get it. You know, there are people out there who want to do all the things. I don't think that's a representation of the average player, though. I don't think every player wants to do all the things. So, things that are valuable. Oh, man, I've already got Prime Critical Damage Floor. I should have looked at that first. Darn. Do I have Prime Crit Evasion? Prime Crit Evasion. Where is that at? That's Prime Hit Crit Reduction. Darn it. I didn't realize I already had that one. And I'm pulling things I don't need to be pulling. Prime Crit Evasion. Where's that at? Is that Prime Crit Hit Reduction? Or is there a Prime Crit Evasion? Prime Damage, Critical Floor, which that's one I was trying to pull for. I didn't realize I had it on this account already. It must be. Let me read the script. It must be this one. Yeah. Yeah, that's that. All right, so we'll go ahead and run that. Did not realize that I had already done the crit floor, which is good, but I didn't realize I'd already done it. Sparks Club is your friend. It is, but mine's not synced correctly in a while, and I've not reset it up. Sparks Club, look, tools are great, but as I said before, I don't use the community mod. I very loudly have supported Sparks Club for a long time. I don't use a lot of tools because the average player doesn't use a lot of tools. And some people might think that logic is silly, but it just really comes down to making sure that I'm on the same level of where everybody else is at, the average player. most players are not using all these tools. So that's why I don't use the community mod, which would come in handy in a lot of ways. I want my experience to be reflective of the average player, so I'm not losing sight of that. So even though I have made videos about Spox Club, encourage everybody to use it, I don't use Spox Club very often. That way I make mess ups like this, so then I can go to Scopely and say, hey, you need to really tell us how much we have, what we've already gotten, remove things that I've already completed. Because if I don't have that experience, then I'm not going to have that feedback. So, I mean, there are a lot of great tools out there that I do strongly encourage people use. But, yeah, mod makes it easy to use Spox Club. It does, again. And I'm not going to use it. But I would recommend others who want to make their gameplay experience better to check out both the community mod made by Ripper, now maintained by some great volunteers, and Spox Club made by Drew Bree, now maintained by great volunteers. 100% recommend people to check those things out. I'm just not going to use it. What should a newish Ops 46 be getting in the Alliance Tournament store? Ship skins like the Transwarp Drive for the Cube, primes like the Ship Parts Prime, which is right here. And this is for both. There's a G4 one and a G5 one. You want that one. At your level, you're probably looking at the G5 one, right? So those are going to be huge. The primes and the ship BPs, ship blueprints, and ship skins. So now eventually, after you've gotten all the things, you can work on backtracking on artifacts, things like that. But those would be my primary focuses as the 46. Dustin says, I also want to see open world PvP ops bracket be 5 ops plus or minus. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Dustin, just go ahead and tell you now, never going to happen. There's never going to be basically a PvE version of STFC. And I'm not trying to be mean when I say that. We're 7 years into this game. I'm just going to let y'all know that's never going to happen. So prepare your game accordingly. So just letting y'all know. Is it free cow time? Well, that's kind of the premise of today's episode, is to see, is it free cow time? Do we need to really make a fight for that and an argument for that? I already know what that message is for. Do we need to start pushing for that? Is it truly free cow time, or do people not really care? So far, 7 out of 10 people say we need cow to return. That's what we have so far. 7 out of 10 people saying bring back the cow. If you're out there and you agree, disagree, now's the time to let everybody know. All right, let me just throw you up there, and we're going to go grind some hostiles. Grind some hostiles. More cowbell. Nice, brain dig. Nice. 2 of the games I play have seriously accelerated the beginning levels of the game from where it takes weeks to get through instead of months. Well, that's the thing, Willie Swim. They've done that in a lot of ways, but then they were counterintuitive with the events. Like, for example, you can get through level 1 through 20 in under a week very easily. They've done some good things to speed that up, but then they'll do other things like removing cow and stuff. And I don't know if they just don't understand how impactful these things are for the average player. Maybe that's it. Maybe they really don't realize how important these things are. But they'll just remove things because they're old or they feel like they're outdated. And people are still relying on those things. And I would argue that, yeah, it needs to be updated. I'm not saying that, Crucible of War and stuff is perfect. That's not what I'm saying. I would love if it got updated. What I am saying is that it's one of the best things the game has in terms of as a low level to source 2 major currencies. Alliance credits to get your shields and rare Armada directives. It's actually half the Armada directives that you can get for free every month that are rares. It's half of them. It's half of them. So you just have to kind of approach that in that same way. Justin says, I'm annoyed by getting ganked by player ships at least 500k more, like 1 million plus stronger than me. Well, you can win. You just need the tools to win. Like PvP crews. Like, my 3 billion power ship has destroyed a 20 billion powered ship. So a lot of that is, now it's difficult to get those things, but like you just saw me take off a primary PvP crew from my 9 million enterprise that can easily kill something twice its strength because I had a dedicated PvP crew. But I also took the time to go get those crews. So it just comes down to what you have that's important to you as a player. And a lot of people don't have PvPs in importance to them, and which is completely fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just there is balance, but the balance is not in the ship. The balance is in the crews, the research, the artifacts, the FTs, the CTs, and the way too long of a list of things to keep up with, which again, I think is a problem, that there is such a long list of things that you need to maintain and keep up with. I completely agree. There's too much stuff in STFC. And Dustin is off 27. Stingray. Cal being removed, says Redman, is a drive towards monetization more and more. A good example of this is the ship event that vanished to be replaced by Ferengi Store. I don't agree that it's about monetization, but I do agree that it needs to return. So, Dalbor says Cal is okay, but look at the prizes lately. I can only expect them to make it worse. I don't even know how they can make it worse without removing the Armada directives, and I don't see what the incentive to make it worse would be. How many people are actually out here buying Armada packs? Who's buying Armada packs in 2025? So, it's also helped me understand why I've been having so many problems being able to run rare Armadas, because I don't have the credits anymore. I didn't even realize it was gone. Yeah, so each month, I think free to play is like 1,600. If you're doing everything, 1,600 uncommon, and I think it was 600 rare directives a month, with most of the rares coming from Crucible of War, if I'm remembering my numbers right. So removing Crucible of War means your ability to source rare Armada directives, it starts getting limited to the Armada chest pulls, which is just very inconsistent, very unreliable, very RNG based, right? Speaking of Alliance credits, I'm about to run out of Alliance credits right now. But then you start having to rely on things like this, and maybe you'll get some, maybe you won't. I just got 10 rares, right? That's not a lot. It's not a lot. So that's part of the issue / argument, is having things available to players or making more things available to more people. And sourcing is big. You barely run Armadas. I run Armadas as a low level because the low level Armadas are very important. Let's see if we can freeze this in time. Well, stop it. There we go. It stopped. Start hitting things. We'll go freeze this one. David says the Armada Destruction event this weekend was horrible right after the Alliance tournaments when everyone spent their tokens. Fair comment. Even poly directors have better sourcing. Kinda. But again, poly directors are a G4 and above thing. Like that's not available for everybody. So it doesn't really affect. I mean, you've got a major chunk of your player base. I'd say Chrono's here. Chrono can pull the numbers. I'd say right now, probably 30% of the game, 25% of the game are still in G3. That means that's a huge chunk of your game that, sure, maybe, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, is what I'm really saying. Like, it doesn't really matter if it does or doesn't. Oh my gosh. Oh, it bugged out again. Well, that's going to die. Oh, I love it when it bugs out. It's good stuff. Yay, game. Yay, game. All right, let's just go ahead and put that back. We'll fix it the next time, hopefully. Responsibility, did we get an end of arc survey last month? We did not. No. We don't. We got a, I've been doing it based on arcs. So when Villains is done, we'll do another. Dalibor, I'm not going to tell you things until they're here. I say if one is maxed out the Armada Control Center, once you get an extra Armada call at a time. I mean, sure, I don't honestly see how that's valuable, but sure. If G6 Crucible of War and FKR credits don't really matter anymore, it would be different if they updated it with G6 solo directives. I think that is a fantastic recommendation to incentivize higher level players still doing Cal while allowing them to help out their lower level players. Because again, the better an alliance scores in Cal, the more of the currency you're going to get. And again, I think that these things need an update. And you know what? Maybe they are updating it, but they're not telling anybody what they're doing. So again, it's the silence that's killing. And I messaged Obsidian Hamster a week ago on Crucible of War. And let me pull this up. Let me see what day it was when I brought Cal up. It was the 27th. So it was Saturday. It is now Wednesday, and Obsidian Hamster's not responded about Crucible of War. Now, I will bug other people. The whole point of this is to have numbers, because here's one thing that Scopely cares about: numbers. It's why I bug y'all so much to invite people to the channel. It's why I bug y'all so much to participate in surveys. Because if I just come to them more often than not and say, hey, players are unhappy about this, let me go ahead and tell you what's going to happen. They're going to be like, no, not worried about it. Unless I actually come with data. If I come with data, then they'll be more likely to acquiesce to our request. If I just come with opinions, they'll hear it, but it's unlikely to result in a big change. So it's why things like surveys and polls and having people come to the streams is so valuable. because it allows us to have concrete data that we can show the overlords. Here's what people say. Here's what people think. Here's what they feel. All the goody things. That's why I bug y'all so much about it. It's not about growing my channel, right? I'm already the biggest content creator the game has. I'm not saying that as a big head. It means that I've already reached a major point of the channel, but it's the participation level of getting y'all to have all these things and then present that with actual verifiable data so that they're not just being like, oh, that's just Rev's opinion. And keep in mind that Rev has a reputation in Scopely for just being negative, right? There's a lot of times they want to dismiss me because they just think I don't like them, which has nothing to do with the feedback that I give. It's based on player feedback. But unless I have those data points to come to them, it's harder to get them to consistently listen. So, Dinwiddie says, to be fair, a lot of Star Trek fans are more likely to listen to something from data, not just Scopely. You're not wrong. In fact, with the power of AI, maybe I should turn myself into data. Maybe that would help. So, maybe that's what I should do. Bringing Brent Spiner anywhere gives you immediate cash. Okay. Maybe I should find, I wonder if we can raise money to pay him like $200 for him to say like, Rev Deuce is the best. Scopely should listen to him. Whoever knows Brent Spiner, help hook it up. Hook it up. All right. Back into what we're doing. And I forgot about the ship again. Great. Who doesn't love transigen space? Who just doesn't love transigen space? Is it not the best thing that Scopely's ever come up with? Transigen is just fantastic. It's so good. It's so great. It's wonderful. Everybody here agrees. 99 out of 99 people agree. Transigen space was a fantastic idea. It's wonderful. Everybody enjoys it. Everybody loves going to it. Nobody guffaws at the things I'm saying. Transigen is amazing. It's fantastic. All right, we are one pull away from getting the shields, or I could do the cargo bay. Or we'll wait on the shields. Just a great time had by all. Everybody agrees. Farm augmented space killed me so much more because I forgot the ship. Well, this account has a reliance, so I just put it out there and do my farming that way. I just go put it out here and do my farming. Hazard space sucks. A big green banana. That is, I agree. I agree. Yeah. It's called sarcasm? No. No, not here. Not on this channel. I would never use sarcasm as a tool to get my point across. That seems so juvenile. I would never do that. I would never do that at all. All right. I've had 3 Novas out in transition constantly since moving to G5 to keep up with the pulls. There you go. There you go. And you know what? When we should do some OPC hunting Selkies later. That's what we should do. We should do some OPC hunting of Selkies later. I think that'll be a good idea. Mirren says it could be worse. Could be a year back in the game and all the ship-based field trainings are still broken. Oh, well, that's fun. Gosh, that sounds like a Tiberius thing. That seems like something that would happen to Tibbs. Shout out Tibbs. Poor Tibbs. Tibbs got problems. Tibbs got problems. All right. What would be your short list for going to G65? Cube is maxed. All research done. All building 64. Then I would go to 66. So, yeah. Yeah. I would go to 66. Start working on your rare. All right, we're going to recall, stop. All right, should actually work this time. If you change yourself into data, does that mean wife is going to become Tasha? You know what? I'd be down for that, except for the short hair. How many accounts are you actively playing? Define actively. That I log into every single day? 2. That I have access to / control? About 2 dozen. So for example, there are very kind players in G6 who let me log in and use their accounts using a VPN so we don't get caught by Scopely. I have accounts. I have an account on the EU servers because I just like to, see how the experience is different. I've got accounts, but not accounts that I'll play every day. I have 2 that I play every single day, and that's this one that you see and the one on server 20. And generally, I only tend to claim accounts that I've done all the work in. So I also have accounts that people have quit the game and they said, hey, Rev, I was this level. Would you like this account? And every now and then I'll say, sure. And I'll have that account. I'll log into it again just to maintain perspective on events, different rows and different servers, what's going on with the player base, and just see what things are like at different levels. I mean, if you are a level 70 content creator and the only account you play is level 70, how realistic can it be that you understand the plight of Dustin at level 27? Right? How likely is it you can understand that plight? So for me, it's important to play at as many levels as I can. And again, very, very grateful to those players who are up in G6 at like level 70, who will let me log into their accounts and play arenas and events and try things out so I can understand how things are firsthand. So what's the goal with the level 35 account? To do what it's doing now, which is experience the low level gameplay. So I've got a G5 account, which basically encompasses where most players are at. And then I have this kind of like catch-up account. What's different with the area of the game that Scopely is to a point ignoring? Is it different? Is it better? Is it faster? That way, when you have people who are like level 35 who come to the channel, I can say, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what you should focus on based on me doing that same thing. Here's my experience. Like, for example, what has changed? Well, let me tell you, it's very different because the most important thing you're going to mine is not the 3-star materials, it's Transgen. Because Transgen allows you to immediately speed up one of the most important acquisitions in the game, especially for a low level, and that's artifacts. This is one of the most important things in the game now, is getting your Transgen loot done. And everybody who's in the G3 area should be doing it. Now, it's annoying. I hate it. I've only got 4 docks, and at any time, 2 of them have to get relegated to mining Transgen. It's annoying. It's terrible. It's my least favorite part of the game. Y'all know how I feel about mining, so I should shut up about it. Still, if I did not have this experience, my recommendation would be, yeah, get you a Horizon and a Cavort and go park it in, your territory and just mine your 3-star ore gas crystal. And while sure, you should do that for your dailies, not exactly the most important thing to be doing at level 35. Right? There are other things that are more valuable. This is actually not even my Cavort. This is my Horizon, but that's not the point. So here we are. So it's just seeing how the game is adapted and changed so I can make advice for those players and it be firsthand advice. Once I'm responding to a message from Overlords, game design though, not community management. So game design can't help with, things like Crucible of War. Drop your link in all my Discords, invite my pals to comment on Cal. Appreciate it. Is Cal gone for good? Now, they have not said that, but here's the problem, which is similar to the gripe that we've been having for a while. They've not said anything. They just haven't done it. Just not doing Crucible of War. Now, this does come down to live ops running things that they feel like is important and valuable. So, I don't know, but that's part of what I need is I'm getting y'all here so that I can have y'all's voices. Right now, there is a poll up in the YouTube chat where you can say, hey, do you miss Crucible of War? And so far in 25 minutes, 228 people have said, 228 people have voted, and 71% of those people have said they want Crucible of War to return. Right? So that's why I'm bugging y'all, because this time, I messaged them about it. I just said, 5 days ago, I messaged Hammy about it. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's why I'm doing this stream. And even if you just tell your people to come to the stream and vote real quickly and then leave, do that. Because here's what I'm going to do. As soon as the stream is done, I'm going to go message 4 people that I talked to. I'm going to re-message Obsidian Hamster. I'm going to message 2 other community managers and 1 person in live ops that I still talk to quite regularly. And I'm going to present all this information. I prefer to go through 1 community manager at a time. However, if that community manager hasn't responded to me, then I jump it up and I start messaging more. So that's what the purpose is today, is to get y'all to vote as much as possible so I have some concrete data. I can be like, hey, our live stream peaked out at 500 live people and 500 people voted in a short stream to talk about Crucible of War, and then I have some actual data to give them from players who play this game. Does that make sense? So, I want these things to return if the players find it valuable. and then express the reasons as to why. And then also, like Darush was adding, good reasons of how to improve it or ways to improve it, like G6 players paying out G6 Armada directives. Yeah, doing stuff like that so that we can then have a player base who doesn't feel left out, which we just had level 34 in the chat say they feel like they're being ignored with content. So we want to make sure that they're getting the content they need to progress. So, good evening, Mark. Welcome in. Gerald says, I'm level 48. Should I stay for a while or move up? Tell you what, Gerald, we're about to do player account reviews here in a minute, and we can talk about that there. All right? We're about to do player account reviews. We can talk about that there because I don't know where you're at. I mean, you could be the weakest 48 in the game, and then, of course, I would tell you not rushing up levels. You could be the strongest 48, and I'd say you need to go sit at 50 and prepare for the future. So, what's the minimum ship needed for transient at 35? Again, I'm literally using a Horizon, which is a level 26 miner right now. This is a Horizon. The only thing you need is warp range, but your Horizon from the 20s can reach the early transition space. Remember, transition starts in the 20s technically, and you can start mining it there. So you don't need like a special miner. You just need to make sure you're doing your actual regular runs. Now, epic stuff is going to be locked behind getting the Squall, which is, again, another reason to make sure you're doing all your pulls, getting all your stuff in, so that you can then come in and get your Squall blueprints. I am currently 25% of the way to having my Squall. Many of y'all are probably further than me. That's fine. Rev's not as far as y'all. Y'all can make fun of me. It's fine. And then I'm going to go do this. You see I'll get more of those artifacts. And again, that is just one of the most important things you can do in the game right now. How's my family keeping? Thank you, Mark, for asking that question. Oh, they're fine. The kids are in school. My wife has picked up a part-time job, and yeah, we're doing fine. Thank you for asking. We're trying to pay off the medical bills. So we finally got the total of the medicals, and we're just working on paying that off. But my family is healthy. They're happy. My kids are happy, and I couldn't ask for anything more. I'm very blessed to have people like y'all in my life who love the channel, love the content, and enjoy all the games that we play. And I can't say thank you enough for all you people. So thank you. I'm gonna do it again. I might even say it again. Thank you. Wow. Wow, look at the gratitude on this guy. Wow. But I do appreciate you asking, Mark. So, Sugar Fat Man says if you're 48, you might as well go to 50, sit there and catch up. The only reason I would say no to that is if they really are like the weakest 48 in the game. Like, hey, calm down, get in the habit of, you know, strengthening yourself. But yeah, generally speaking, I definitely agree. So, DR, Guten Tag, Guten Abend. Wie geht's? Tim says hit that like button. Rev has bills to pay and kids to feed. Thank you, I appreciate that. And Adam, by the way, thank you for being a cadet here on the channel. Greatly appreciated. Remember, all of y'all's love and donations never required. It is very much appreciated. Because Adam just signed up to support the channel, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop the link. If y'all want to, you can donate to the medical bills. You don't have to. For those that missed it, I basically missed I missed about 3 weeks of August due to, you know, COVID and having to have surgery because of COVID. So now we're paying that off. So if you do want to donate, never required, greatly appreciated. Nothing else, hit that subscribe button and be a member on the channel. Thank you very, very freaking much. Very freaking much. All right. Back to comments and stuff. Any wrap-up comments on Crucible of War as a topic before we move into doing player account reviews, where we look at Tibbs' account and laugh. I'm just kidding. That's not what we're going to do. Love you, Tibbs. Thank you for being here, buddy. Always appreciate it. Also like that you let me make fun of you and you make fun of me. It's good times. So, I'd like it if we got extra sourcing of items that are exclusively in incursions, especially as Server 101 is about to merge with Server 94, and someone on 94 is already threatening to throw incursions. Which is wild, Alexi, because Server 94 has never done incursions, ever, but they're already threatening to do that. It's crazy, but hey, people are crazy. I don't know why, but people are crazy. People be wild. Greetings, Flashman. Welcome in. 28, 60, 66 picks an account to laugh at. I'm going to pick your 28 account. The only thing it's good for is doing Alliance tournament tasks more than the leader of the Alliance they're in. Oh, Tibbs. Yeah, y'all worry about Rev playing too many accounts. This is my full-time job. Tibbs has 3 accounts, and this is a hobby. Y'all go look at Tibbs. For those that don't know, Tibbs also makes content. Check out his YouTube videos and on Twitch, Tibbs2187, Tiberius2187. He even named his channel after my son, which is very sweet of him. Thank you, Jason. Welcome and good to see you. Paul says, didn't play for 2 years, started again 6 months ago at Ops 33, at 8 million power, now at Ops 42, 60 million plus, still catching up. Well, welcome back to the game, Paul. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good to see you and welcome on in. Do a flip? Yeah, I'm not that talented, but thank you. Thank you. What's the percentage of people who are active and not active in incursions? Well, that really depends on the server. So speaking of amazing websites, if y'all have never seen it, STFC statistics. STFC.WTF. I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. Uno momento per perver. 1 second. Let me find it. So if everybody here goes to STFC statistics, so again, you can do STFC.PRO, STFC.WTF, etc. You can go to the incursions tab, and you can see the percentage of players on those servers who are participating. So we're just going to click on that. Now, this is the last incursion, FYI. This is the last incursion, so this isn't the current one. You see on the last incursion, server 9 had 37.6% of the players actively participating in the events, and then 37.3% on server 76. So we do track this data on STFC.WTF if you're curious. I would say the best servers in the game tend to be in the 40 to 50% mark, 40 to 50%. So also real quick, a big thank you because Miss Joanne just donated to the family. Thank you very, very much for supporting me and the kids. I greatly appreciate it. I'll add that to the board here in a second. Thank you, Miss Joanne. It's very kind of you to do. Never required, very much appreciated. I donated $4.78 after taxes. Yay, taxes. Let me put this in real quick so I don't forget. Thank you very much, Miss Joanne. And it has been added. Thank you. All right. Love digging through the site, checking out incursions data. Same. I'm a numbers guy. I always have been. I really enjoy that we have stuff like this here in the game. So, or outside the game, rather. We have amazing volunteers. Well, I'm always telling people, hey, make sure you're thanking your volunteers because the people who create all this and maintain it don't get paid a dime. So, don't get paid a dime. Yeah. All right, back into the chat. Did these scrapping yields get turned down? No, they have not changed any of the yields. The yields are still exactly the same, and I would definitely start a riot if they did that. Just FYI, I would definitely start a riot if they did that. They have not changed. Now, they still are pushing back G5 scrapping, which was supposed to come out this year, and they have now pushed it back. But, hey, Major Samo, good to see you. So here's what we're going to do, since we've already got the site pulled up. We're going to do some player account reviews. I want to start with, I believe last time we started with G4. What I want to do is, because I saw we have some G3 players, I want to grab some G3 players, talk about things that they need to be working on. If you're a G3 player and you would like your account looked at, type your ops level in. And here's how it works. Y'all can't just be sending me mass messages, right? And that isn't to say I don't want you to talk to me. Everybody here, you are more than welcome to message me as much as you want on Discord, X, wherever. Just right now, please don't everybody spam me with your ops level because then my DMs get inundated and I can't do anything, is what I'm saying. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, but it's very easy for things to get lost in the clutter. So if you're in a G3, that means if you're level 1 through 39, you would like us to look at your account, help you out with maybe things you need to work on, throw your ops level in the chat. I'll grab it, and then you'll need to reach out to me on Discord so that we can then go over what you've got going on. Dang it, RJK. Don't tell people to spam Rev, darn you. There's always one in the chat. There's always one. There's always one. All right, let me, are there no more 39s and 40s? I'm getting my dailies done for those curious in the background. Boldly Go should always be the interactive event. I love Boldly Go. I mean, of course, I agree with that on principle. Getting Scopa to agree with it is different. But yeah. Players below Ops 45 also will not have Faction Hunt according to the in-game schedule. Yeah, I saw that, Leo. Now, thankfully, I have been teaching better ways to get faction credits, but I do agree that a lot of these classic events, and I think that's what they need to be called at this point, they're classic events, Those deserve a little bit more love and not to be forgotten. If anything, they need to be updated to be more valuable. It's gone on 46. Well, that's not G3. We have none of our G3s players chiming in. There were several of them here earlier. We have no G3s chiming in. I'm collecting all my syndicate right now. Can we message you on Tinder? I don't have a Tinder profile, but yes, you can. Yes. Sethan, Ops 35, Poplo 35. Poplo, that's not your first account though, is it? Better crew for augments? I can help you that real quick. Pipe Row Data or Pipe Row Chin. There you go. Bam. Woo. Boom. Right there. Bam. Boom. Wow. Pipe Row Data, Pipe Row Chin. Perfectly fine for taking on your augments. Really, it's about that below decks as well. So I got me some Nurse Chapel, got me some Hugh. I need to go upgrade Nurse Chapel. That's where the goodies are at, my friend. My goodies, if that's all you needed. All right, Sethan, because I talked to you one-on-one already, I'm going to grab one other person. Not that I don't like you, Sethan, but you message me all the time. I respond to you. You're awesome. You're more than welcome to hit me up. Just because I've not seen Truth before. Truth, shoot me a message on Discord. Your account. I need the name of your account. And then I need to also know what your questions are, and we'll help lead you in a direction. And hey, Sethan, we can still get you on here if you want. I just, we talk to you all the time. You're good people. Sethan's one of my regulars for those that don't know. I actually don't know if the last time Sethan missed a stream on either YouTube or Twitch. He is literally at everything that I've got. Very, very loyal. All right. Let's see. All right. Okay, that's level 34. That's not who I'm looking for. We had somebody shoot me a message. That isn't who I'm looking for. All right. Did you try the Wesley Crusher crew for that? I have. I know Tibbs pushes the Wesley Crusher crew. I think I've got 2 of them on away teams right now, so I couldn't quickly swap it. Tibbs, do you have your video handy? I can put it on the screen for people to see it. Now, how well it performs will vary based on your crewing, your research, etc. So, yeah. Victor says, returning player again. It's been a while. I remember the STFC talking 2 years ago about helping lower level players speed up progress. I definitely don't see it. In some ways, they definitely have. In some ways, they absolutely have not. So, some ways they have, in some ways they have not. And my goal is to make it more ways they have. So, I mean, they definitely drastically improved. And this account's a great example, right? I mean, they've drastically improved the amount of resources and materials that one gets. So let me just show you my resources. I mean, look how much I'm sitting on. Again, this is an account that is not ridiculously active. I mean, it's active every day, but what I'm saying is I don't do everything. I don't spend. You look at my materials down here, G3 materials right here, 35,000 crystal. That was the biggest bottleneck of G3 for the longest time. Even me maxing out an enterprise, I've still got 7,000 gas left over. So they have improved it. I'm not saying it's great, but I am saying they have definitely improved the G3 experience. The archives has drastically improved how quickly you can max a Vidar, max them, or get to as high level as you can in Amalgam, a Botany Bay. They have done things, but there are key things they're missing. For example, one key thing they're missing, in my opinion, is badging sourcing, speeding up how quickly you actually get the ship blueprints. Those are all things that have to drastically improve. All right, Truth has shot me a message. Truth, post your account information so I can pull it up on the screen, and then also any questions that you have. Truth, thank you for shooting me a message. Officer shards are better since the launch of the con patch. Officer shards have improved. I mean, the biggest thing for officer shards, and they need to run more of these events, is the officer depot tokens, right? You can come into here, which I do, come to your officer depot tokens, and one of the biggest ones that you can get right now is maxing out Nurse Chapel. Like, I've got a lot. How many do I need to max Chapel? Let's do some quick math. That is, what, 76? Can I can do 50 at a time. That's 66. No, we can take Chapel up right now. Both Bev and Wes are now on depot tokens. Yeah. So, by the way, Tibbs, do you want to shoot me a message of that so I can show you what I'm saying? Or, sorry, show what you're saying? This would be a weekly event for Officer Depot tokens. I would definitely agree with that. 100%. All right, so now we need to get 26. Not 126, though. I wish I could go that high. There we go. And that'll allow me, next time she comes back, we'll tier up Nurse Chapel. But again, this is something that you can do as a low level that you absolutely should be, that maybe you're not. You know, this is all stuff that's readily available. The augment recruit chests and tokens have also helped drastically with the officer sourcing. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Now, obviously, you want to get the Reliant first, but I actually pull this every day. I pull this every day. And not just for these officers, but for the Wrath token, which allows me to come down here and start focusing on Hugh. It's actually how I unlocked Hugh, was because of that. So I unlocked Hugh here. I've tiered him up. Also is going to help you with Gwen DeMarco, which is huge. These rares, which the reason I haven't done these rares yet is because these are not very hard to max in G4 with that NX02 Columbia skin you saw me getting. But yeah, this helps a lot with the officer sourcing. It's just those darn specialty ships. So darn specialty ships, man. We need specialty ship improvement. And then don't forget that we're also getting a transporter pattern update here for officers as well, which we just made a video on a few days ago. So T3 had 0 officer token events in September. In August, it was so many that I got Nurse to tier 2, unlock Pike, and have some left. And this goes back to something we've griped about before, where Arc runners have not enough continuality, right? Like they move around too much. They don't have a set of standards where they follow consistent things. So that becomes problematic because you can have a great month and that feedback can go back to that Arc runner and they'll do it again, but they might not have another month for 4 to 6 months. And then the next month you have a completely different person who doesn't take that feedback because they can't make massive changes. So for example, let's say that you love the Officer Depot run in September. The person who's doing October has already made their stuff. They can't just go switch everything, in 2 days to copy what happened the previous month. So it takes so much time for your actual feedback of what you like to actually get implemented in. And sometimes it even gets forgotten in the time it takes to put it in. So because the person who ran September might not run another one until January, they either can bring back what they're doing, or maybe Scopely's changed how they want to run certain events by then. And that's part of what makes it so problematic, right? It makes it so problematic. And that isn't even speaking into how they structure arcs themselves. So lots of things that can cause us to have some gripes. Game development is a very slow process. And you would think that the events wouldn't be as slow as the development itself, but I would actually argue that the events move slower than the actual features of this game in terms of this particular game. All right. We're going to go grab our friend Truth. Let me grab him real quick. We're going to level 35 and we'll put him on the screen. Delawavi. Cool name. All right, let's go see how you rank amongst your peers. All right, we're going to put this back on the screen. And then also, while you're here, type out any questions you have about your account. I see that you are rocking a Centurion, Franklin, Vidar, and a Devore. That's just what you have on the screen, so that's cool. There's also a moon about to hit your station, FYI, if you didn't know. All right, let's put this on the screen so everybody can see. So you currently rank, in terms of overall power, 667 out of 4,076 level 35s. That's pretty good. All right, so that shows that you probably are sitting pretty when it comes to research and stuff. You probably have not been skipping out on things is what I'm saying. Now, I did not see if you have a faction ship. So number one, I definitely want to make sure that you get a faction ship at level 34, the 34 ones. Enterprise and Augur are the top 2 picks usually. Here's my Enterprise. I think it has 1 part until it's maxed out, But here's my enterprise. So you definitely want to pick one of those up if you haven't already. What are some common goals players of my levels usually reach for? All right, we'll give you some goals. I like that. So number one common goal is right there, is getting your enterprise done. So let me put mine back on the screen. Here's mine. See, I'm currently grinding with it. Getting an enterprise or an augur is typically everybody's first choice at level 34. Just because it's going to last into early G4 for you. And it just good all around, helps you do your dailies, gives you another ship to run your solo armadas. So one thing that you're going to start at 35 that you're at, especially once you unlock the Defiant and everything, which that reminds me, I need to start pulling my Defiant. I haven't been doing that. I need to do that. But you need to use 3 ships to do solo armadas. Well, to do that, having one of these special ships, one of these faction ships is going to help that process. That's goal number 1. And again, based on where you're at, I'm going to assume you've got a lot of your research done, but I'm going to give you some researches to focus on. Let's rotate on back. Again, Transgen, I talked about that. Please be doing your Transgen loop because you want to focus on acquiring artifacts. You really want to focus on artifacts that are going to do things like protected cargo, just because the nature of what you have to do is low level. Research speed. You see, I've got PvP ones, but warp speed's really big. ISO, anything ISO is going to be very important. And again, you're going to get that by actually running through these loops. The Fleet Commander's skill point CE is good, but remember, you do want to get the Serene Squall first. So these are secondary to that, but this is super valuable. Again, another warp speed, super valuable. So starting working on that transient loop for artifacts is big. You also want to make sure you're doing the augment loop. And that, again, is all about unlocking this beauty, the USS Reliant, if you have not already. I mean, it goes without saying that the newer loops tend to provide better value for the average player just because they have updated rewards with updated things. And that doesn't mean that there aren't things that are valuable. So, for example, I talked about running solo armadas. Those are going to start up here in Dominion space. That is your Bajoran faction. That's something that I have actually fallen behind on not getting started here. As you can see, I am nowhere where I should be. It's something I have to start working on. But this is for running your directives. Now, this is going to help you with sourcing of materials mostly and ship parts, which is why you do want to do it. I mean, you could skip it, but why would you do that? It also has its own research tree over there that improves the refinery and things. And again, that does have value. So you do want to work on the Bajoran. You see, I'm a little bit behind on that. I've been focusing on things like Augment, but you do want to make sure you're getting that done. I would also say, in terms of goals for yourself, make sure that you are in an alliance that runs waves and includes you in waves, because waves really do have value to a low-level player. But at 35, you can't do much except destroy the mining ships, the survey ships that happen in waves. So with that said, if you're sitting in G3, try to set that as a goal. And if you don't have an alliance that runs that, you want to find an alliance that does. They say Officer Depot token event to come back. I thought it was every weekend, but it didn't come around this weekend. Yeah, and this goes back to what we were just saying about inconsistencies. But on that note, let me tell you as a level 35 who you should be focusing on. Nurse Chapel for your actual everyday grinds, like hostile grinds. You want Nurse Chapel below decks. Very, very valuable. Now, those other Strange New World characters are good, but again, if we're just picking 1 or 2 at a time, super, super good. Getting a jump start on your DS9 crew is very valuable. Now, you'll unlock these very quickly once you go 40 plus, but until then, this is a great Armada crew you can start off with immediately. And I'm really focusing on things like Officer Miles, who's the rare. Yeah, again, you can max this guy out pretty easily once you're 40 plus, but if you want to really maximize how well you're doing Armadas as a solo, get those done now, and that'll help you out. Odo's okay below decks, but again, epics cost more. Keep that in mind. If you have not already, though, I would be remiss. I would be a fool if I did not say max out this lady. This is the first thing every G3 player should do, is max out this lady. First thing, max out Chen. She just is too valuable. Even today, even 7 years later, still incredibly valuable. As Tibbs said, you do have Wesley Crusher and Bev in here for his special augment run. I like Honor Guard Wharf, but only get this if you're PvP. And then another one that is worth grabbing or considering is here, maxing out these. Lana Torres, Neelix, and Harry Kim. So that you have Morale, Hull Breach, and Burning. Now again, these get much easier to do in G4, but if you're looking for goals to set at, those are goals that you should focus on. just because they make everything better. You just become a much better player once you have done those things. Let me see if there's a beetle in here while we're waiting for it to blow up. Is there a beetle? And is this ship OPC? It is. Here, I gotta share this with my alliance. 290k OPC splicers. Definitely want to make sure my alliance knows when there's OPC ready to be yoinked. Ready to be yoinked. All right, we just blew up, so I'm going to repair this real quick. And what that's going to do is let me go do my Nurse Chapel. So you got Chin and Moreau Max, great job. So I would say Nurse Chapel, those officers to focus on. Get into your transient loop, do your augment loop. And then another thing I would say is when you feel ready, I would really encourage you to get to 39 as quickly as possible, just because that opens up more research. It lets you take your specialty ships to tier 3, like your Voyager, your Talios, you up tier your Defiant. And then I would also work on getting the ISS Jelly. And that makes it easier to start that process. Those would be my main goals for you at 35. Again, there's a lot to do. There's one thing that, like, I know a lot of people talk about not getting new content for low levels, but low levels have got plenty of content to do. So I would say focus on those, and then you can start working on some of these other things down the road. But they'll be my primary focuses for you. In terms of research trees, 1 second, let me show you some researches. Territory tree, definitely don't undervalue how good this is, which is why you need an active alliance giving you particles, because you can get all of these stuff worked on. These are all still very good. The new away team stuff is great, especially so you can get the new away teams running. You want those, they're very good. Old stuff still okay, but again, really want to focus on the new. Don't forget also, you have a lot of things that will really make your ship stronger in X-Borg as you're working on your Borg Cube. If you've not gotten a Borg Cube, get it in the event store when it's around. You know, like this hull booster. This is a 100% bonus at level 35. Adding it with the other ones I have, that adds up. It matters. So make sure you're getting these things done as well. In fact, I want to speed one up. You know, I got just stuff sitting around. I got speed up sitting around doing nothing. Let's start putting some things to work. So make sure that you're doing that. And those people are some good goals for you to focus on in mid, well, really upper G3 at this point. Let me go max out, not max out. I'm going to go upgrade Miss Nurse Chapel real quick. Take her to tier 3. There we go. Honestly tempted to just take her another tier up, to be completely fair with y'all. Because there we go. We're now at 15. That tier 4 is another big jump. Yeah, let's do that. I've got tokens laying around. Oh, yeah, and don't forget your Q trials. Good call out, Valhalla. Don't forget your Q trials. I do those pretty regularly. In fact, I'm about to do my Q trial dailies right now. Yeah, so we need 155. I'm pretty sure I can afford that. Actually, I know I can. So I can definitely afford that. Will the ISS Jelly scrap loop be relooked at by Scopely devs, or is Scopely more focused on fixing the scrapping over payout bug? They're not looking at reducing the payouts, if that's what you're worried about or asking. You have no specialty ships yet. Which one should I focus on? Oh, wow. Okay, no specialty ships. Well, get your amalgam via cosmic cleanup on Saturdays. You definitely want to do that. You definitely want to work on your Voyager. Voyager's big, so definitely get your Voyager worked on. You want to unlock the Defiant, which I just mentioned. The Vidar and the Talios, both should definitely be done, and they're in the independent archive, so they're a lot easier to get started on and maxed out than they were before. All three of those are definite ones that I would focus on in terms of getting done before you go into G4. For sure. Devore and the Fisha kind of on. Like, I'm not saying don't do them, but I mean, you're not going to hurt yourself if you're skipping it. If you're a pure free-to-play player, it is definitely worth doing just so that you're getting more Latinum every day. So by that logic alone, you should be going after it, which is why I do still do enough Devore to do the pulls so I can, you know, get Latinum on this account. Because, I mean, getting Latinum can be tough, man. It's a lot to get Latinum. So I got to go upgrade this Borg Cube. I got levels to get. Let me swap this out just so I can show you my below decks of what I'm looking at here. So you see I got Pike, Moreau, E-Data. Chen could be up there. You see there's my Balana Torres. I've got Dane, Badgie, but these two are my, you know, my breadwinners, my big hitters. We really rely on. Talos is the best miner you have. OPC hunting is big. Now, I don't know if you're an OPC hunter, Truth, but OPC hunting is big for me and for, I think, most low levels because it allows you to catch up on a lot of things that you might not get because this game doesn't give you enough docks. I mean, you see, I've got 4 docks right now, and there is a free-to-play dock you can work on in the Augment faction. I absolutely would do that. But OBC hunting helps is what I'm saying. Would recommend. 100% would recommend you work on that. And another thing with your alliance, please make sure they're doing formation armadas. I got to bug my alliance to go do some today. You want to make sure you're doing formation armadas, because you see here at 35, I'm now working on this, which that's further than the average 35 was at when they came out. But I even need to catch a lot more of that. I feel like I'm behind on those things. I'm going to go do Nurse Chapel again. Yeah, let's get her up to tier 4. That's why those faction credits and faction hunt could be important. Look how many faction credits I'm having to spend. But again, I mean, look what I'm getting. Now up to 25%. How many stars do I need to max her? 225? I could do it. Do I want to? That's tough. Do they still have the weekly event during Mighty Monday for the Devore? They do, Kinslayer. They do. As a low-level player, that is still available. Oh man, do I want to max her out? How much would that cost? I think I have just enough Officer Depot tokens to max her out. The question is, do I max her out or do I spread that over and start working on... Do I start really getting BLT up there? Look, my BLT is real low. That's tough. That ISO Cascade's big. Yeah, we're going to do the ISO Cascade. We're going to do it, chat. We're going to do it. Not very normal to have a max nurse at 35. You're right, it's not. But again, this is why I encourage people to work on some of these things, because having a max nurse chapel at 35 is absolutely insane. Because keep in mind that at 35, almost everything you're doing at 35 is old content. So none of the things that are your everyday stuff, like for example, I got to go grind in the Dominion area to start that Bajoran loop. Remember I just talked about that? Well, none of those hostiles were made with anything that can combat ISO and ISO Cascade. So that is like a lot of punch up. Well, you know, we'll actually put that on screen. That's gonna be a lot of punch up that I'm gonna have access to. You know, I have the Voyager, Defiant, Reliant, Talios, and the Mantis. So you definitely want to get the Voyager, Defiant, Reliant, and Talios. Those 4 must-haves. If I had to order of importance them, I would say Reliant is the most important of the ones you don't have, followed by the Voyager, Talios, then the Defiant. But you want all 4 of them. And the Mantis is good, but it's mostly for PvP. Mostly for PvP at this point in the game. You're not really caring about the pulls of the Mantis that much, but it's good for PvP. How good is Cascade if you don't trigger ISO? You do. Like, ISO is not something that triggers. You have it, right? Even if all you had was 25% ISO Cascade, then you would have 25% ISO. So you've got ISO. You might not have a lot of ISO, but you have ISO. You're willing to buy a $100 pack for a ship? Okay, well, I'm not telling you that you need to spend money. How far along are you on your Reliant? I mean, if you want to spend money, there's a half pack to buy half a Reliant if you're halfway there. I'm not telling you to spend money, but if you want to speed up and do that, you know, you can. That would be under your ships and Reliant. Oh, there's not a half pack right now, because of course not. Again, that's up to you if you want to do that, but no disco for speed ups. Disco is important, but you can't really do that in G3 anyway. Disco summoning and stuff is more of a G4 thing. All right, so let's use this as an example. Oh, we got to go max her out first. But let's use this as an example. Almost out of faction credits. I'm not going to use Latinum. We'll leave her there. So now it's 40% ISO Cascade. And that's also with me having E-Data. Let's just go send this Burrell up into this Defiant space. And let's just see how juicy we can make it. We'll start off with the standard, and then we'll just start jumping until I start dying. And see how far we can punch up. You thought ISO was triggered by status effect? No. No, it's not. ISO has nothing to do with statuses. Statuses are separate. Now, I do get that the math of this game can get confusing. But ISO damage is calculated based on, number one, how much ISO percentage you have. And then ISO is based off your standard damage calculation. So it takes your standard damage, what exists, and it takes a percentage of that, your ISO, and creates a second attack line, essentially. Think of it like a bonus shot. And then Cascade is a multiplier of your ISO damage. So ISO is not reliant on a hull breach being active. The reason you like hull breach, though, is because hull breach, when combined with criticals, magnifies your standard damage. So that's why you like having all the things, right? Because ISO is going to take from the standard damage, and if we can magnify that in any way, yay, goody. So, but I get it. It definitely gets confusing. Now, this is going to be easy. Again, this is just for showing how it works, but we're going to pretty easily take this Jem'Hadar fighter down. I'm actually curious how high we're going to be able to punch up, though. I might get limited by warp range. That'll be the thing that keeps me from getting the hostiles. I'll probably be able to easily handle all these hostiles, and my problem will be not enough warp range. Is it possible to have hull breach and burning on the same ship? It is. It's possible to have hull breach, burning, morale, and assimilate all on one ship. It is possible. Just joined a new alliance. My old one was always at war. It made my game not fun. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Time Lord. And I'm glad you're enjoying your new group. As long as you're having fun, that's what's important. And let's see. We're going to grab this one. You see, not really much of a jump, but I'm just going to follow the path. Follow the path. And we're going to jump up here to the 40s. Let's see what my warp range is limited to. I think I can still get there. Yep. Can I get... Yep. All right. We'll be able to jump up there. So we're just going to follow the path and see where I get stuck, if I get stuck. Don't forget your Cerritos event. I'm at 35, not 36. But yes, if you are level 36 and above, don't forget your Cerritos. I got one more level. I do have these that I need to look at, though. Oh, it's just hostiles. Which hostiles? Swarm. I don't even really want to do Borg, to be honest with you. But do I want the Curiosity token? Now, this one's easy. Do your dailies. That I can do. Do I really care about the Curiosity token? I'm going to have to ponder that. There's the 41. Do I have it at 35? Is it at 35? Oh, I do have it. Well, dang, I forgot. Yeah. Well, looky there. I forgot. 36 is the ship sourcing event, isn't it? Well, here, let's go turn on an EXO. I believe they fixed it to where you don't have to be there anymore. So I easily handled a 41. We're going to jump up to a 45. So, how you want to mine transit without being attacked? The ship's air strong. I use the Picard maneuver. Here, I'll shoot you a video of how to do it. I freeze the hostile so it doesn't hit me. Here, I'll shoot you a video. I put it out 5 months ago before this came out so that everybody would know how to do it. There you go. There you go. All right, let's see. We there yet? So you'll see my hostile is frozen right here. He's not moving. So I froze it so I can just sit here all day and mine until the hazard takes me out. All right, let's see how we do against 46. So this is, getting beefier. Let's see how we do against the 46. And again, you want to punch up here because I want as many of these antimatter units as I can get. Yeah, didn't even really scratch me. Can I go further? How far up can I go? Oh, I'm warp range limited on the 49. I'll need to go grab my Enterprise to do that. So let's do that. Let's recall. We're going to grab our Enterprise and we'll go up to the 49. This is the BP event for the Cerritos. I'm so happy to see that you forgot sourcing like I did for the G3 ships. Well, I still can't source the Cerritos, right? No, it is. No, you're right. I did. I just thought it was at 36. So I had the wrong level. So I could have been sourcing the Cerritos this whole time. It's going to take me 10 weeks, but thank you for the reminder. It's something I definitely need to do on Wednesdays now. My brain said it was 36. So thank you. 35 is a Cerritos unlock event, and we used to avoid completing the SMS the last time to get a few extra crystal. I remember that. Yeah, which is still relevant if you wanted to do that. I don't know how many people really care about that extra crystal, but yeah. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. I gotta do that after. Okay. What's Curiosity Token for? Pretty sure, isn't it in the event store? Nope. I'll double check on that. There's an event this week for that, and let's see, is it the bookworm? No, it's not the bookworm. Wait, already finished this? Already finished that. Okay, cool. But yeah, that is for an event or a payout that's not showing up at the moment. Get the Cerritos ASAP. I mean, it's honestly not that valuable for me, but I will get the Cerritos. The Cerritos isn't that valuable for me at level 35, but I will get it. Yeah. At 62 will be 63 next spend event. Would you invest Galactic Acclaim to max the buff on the third remaining epic, or save for 63 uncommons? Definitely your epic. Yeah, the uncommons are basically just stepping stools to get your cube bigger. So, basically just stepping stools to get your cube bigger. All right, we'll speed this up real quick. I want to swap this out for our Enterprise. And we'll head out and hit more of these hostiles. But you can see I'm obviously punching up significantly higher, right? I'm very likely he's going to be grinding 49s here in a second, right? Well, that's significantly higher than when Dominion came out, which is the point I was making. You know, maxing out Nurse Chapel and these officers is allowing you to do things that you couldn't do before, which means that I won't have to do this very much. Right? So let's hit Bajoran. No, wrong one for my antimatter units. Also, gotta do my amplified claim. I forgot about that. I still got to do that. And then we get our reputation up, and then we can, eventually get our directives. But yeah, all the stuff that I need to do and all the things that you need to grind, there's my antimatter units for all these badges and stuff. It's just a process. And if I can make that process quicker, I want to. All right, so I'm going to swap. We'll just put Voyager there for now. Put the Enterprise here. There we go. Have anything below decks I can throw in there just for the heck of it? See, now this is something that won't do anything because there's nothing here Apex shreddable. But if I wanted to take this ship out to grind Augment, it's a solid crew for Augment. Solid. Again, I don't think Tibbs ever sent me the link. I can show off the crew he likes. Wasn't the best for me, but it does work. All right. Crucible of War gone for good. Nobody said that. Who said that, Darth? Although I do have a poll up for those who are just coming in. We do have a poll up about Crucible of War. If you believe it needs to come back, if you believe it's valuable, go vote in that poll. It'd be nice if we had 500 people do it. But if you haven't already, say in the poll whether you believe Crucible of War is good. Do you miss Crucible of War? Do you want it back? Do you want it back? Go post that in there so we can see it. All right, that's 49. All right, that's going to be 80. Do I have... Oh, I actually am a fresh one. And that'll bring us up to 75. I don't know if that'll help us any. Is there anything here for 75? That's the 50. Yes, that won't really help us too much. But it will get us to this 49. So let's go try this out and see how well we do against the 49. Is 197 ISO damage for a tier 11 Enterprise D decent? It's okay. I would say it's enough to go into G6 with if you're mostly a PvE player. If you're a PvP player, it's low. If you're a PvE player, it's fine. Once I get a better ship with cloaking, most likely the D3 will get scrapped. Very nice. See, Marcus, this is actually why I'm trying to get people to vote in the Crucible of War thing, because if people miss it, the main two concerns are Armada directive sourcing and then actual alliance currency for getting shields. Not having Crucible of War every month really lowers that amount, how much players are getting. So I'm hoping the more people do the vote, I can then take it to Scope and be like, hey, this is what my players said in the live stream today. We really want to see Crucible of War stay. Even if it has less value for some people, clearly it has value to some. And I'm trying to get an idea of how many people think it's valuable. You felt small with 427. Oh, Bruno, you were also a little bit higher in G6. I'm assuming the tier 11 Enterprise D Brigadier Jones is level 60. But yeah, I mean, if you're going into G6, you definitely want it 400 or more if you want a PvP. You definitely want it 400 or more. If you're PvP. If you're a player who doesn't care about PvP, then no big deal. And Kevin's, if you miss Crucible of War, make sure you vote in the poll. And if you don't miss Crucible of War, make sure you vote in the poll. I want everybody's opinions, right? There's currently 390 votes. It'd be nice to get that at least at 400. So, and my goal, again, like I said earlier, is I'm going to take this information. I'm going to go to a few different people at Scopely, say, hey, here's what my players are saying, my community's saying during the live stream, and see what their plan is. Try to get an answer about their long-term plan with that. All right, let's hit this 48. Let's see how we do. Should be pretty easy. Again, just showing how much we can punch up with the power of things like Nurse Chapel maxed out below decks. So 65 in 20 days. Yeah. And that's still good for your level, Bruno. I mean, 470 is still definitely good. Yeah, I didn't even scratch the paint. Look at this. Again, this was not something you were seeing happen very often back when this came out. I mean, so like I said before, I'm limited by warp range. I could go much higher than I'm currently at. But you see, they don't do any ISO, right? I don't have any barrier for hostiles yet, but they don't have any ISO that needs mitigating. Just my shields and my mitigation needs to be high. And then, you know, see, I'm hitting them, punching them. And they don't mitigate any of my ISO. They have no apex barrier. My ISO damage is higher than my standard damage. And this one I need to get Hue better because I'm not even hitting with criticals, right? But see, here's my critical hits, 1.2 million. And they've got nothing that can stop that. They just don't have the power. 1.6 million. They've got nothing that can stop that. So let me see. Who do I have here? I've got Kirk, but I don't have his warp range stuff. I got to be CC 40 to have the warp range boost of Kirk. But still, you see the point that I'm making, right? Everybody sees the point Rev's making. Let's go get our Q trials run. We're going to wrap up here in a minute. If y'all got any last minute questions, throw them in. I definitely don't want to miss any of y'all's questions. What FTCT should I get for the daily drop they do? What do you mean? Are you talking about the continuum thing? The continuum refinery? Because you don't really get to pick. You get what you get. Oh, a 50. Oh, yeah, that's bigger. Let's see how we do against a 50. Probably not a problem. Yeah, we wiped it. Look at that. He hurt me a little bit, but that's a big punch up. I probably would want to have Pipe Monroe Chin here, but that's still a big punch up. Time to add Loot Crew to the equation. Yeah, especially if I'm farming like these 49s and stuff. So again, just if you can find things like that that make you better, all the better. How about instead of one weekly event of Officer Depot tokens, we replace the one shard from the weekly events like Zendi or Cube, equivalent to Depot tokens? You're going to get a lot of pushback on that, Alexi. A lot of pushback. How old is this account? About a year. I've moved it a little bit slower than I need to, but about a year old. When do the updates drop? The next update is going to be October 7th, this upcoming Tuesday. October 7th. There are 4 Tuesdays in October, which means the first Tuesday of the month will be patch notes. If there's 5 Tuesdays in a month, then patch notes is generally going to come out on the second Tuesday. So, at mid to end G3, the world is fun and good numbers that you can read. Yeah. Hey, look, I feel like G3, G4, G5 are definitely the best places to play in this game. You can definitely enjoy G6, but the more mid-level you are, the more accessible everything is, and the more fun I find everything is. So what is the value of doing the research in the Starbase section? It seems like most of it is aimed at Cardassian enemies. Most of it is pretty irrelevant, John. There are a couple that I want to point you to that are good, okay? So let me give you a few that you do want to go after. But for the most part, you're right. Most of it is pretty useless. But keep in mind that more research is more power. So, I mean, if you want to do that, cool. But up top, you've got component duplicator. You want this because that is a parts efficiency. So when you're upgrading ships in G4, G5, G6 especially, anything that can shave some of the ship part cost off is good. And then you also like these right here. Boosting the amount of rewards you get in armadas. Very, very nice. Right? Getting more uncommon, rare, and epic credits for doing armadas. That's beneficial. Those are the most important things. You also have crystal or gas efficiency. But like you said, most things are pretty irrelevant. But there are a handful of things that are really good. So don't sleep on it. Like, don't ignore it. Just make sure you get the ones that are valuable and then kind of ignore the ones you don't need. Does that make any sense? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be streaming again on Twitch here in a bit. If you want to come hang out with us, feel free to come hang out with us. So over on Twitch, there's a link in the chat. I'm going to wrap up for the day, but I am still around if you want to shoot me a message. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Deuces. Live long and plunder. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you. And see you then.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.